My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I want to talk about the Jeff Younger, James Younger situation. There's also another child there. His name is Jude. And this is cause number DF-15-09887-S. And this is in the interest of J-A-D-Y and J-U-D-Y. So that would be James Younger and Jude Younger. They are minor children, 9 years old, 9 years old. And this is in the District Court of the 301st Judicial District, Dallas County, Texas. And this, by the way, is the court that is presided over by the unethical Judge Mary Brown, Judge Mary Brown, the unethical cheat, the person who has committed violations of the Texas Elections Code. Mary Brown, she is the district judge down there, Judge Mary Brown, the Honorable Judge Mary Brown. Some people call her Bloody Mary Brown, and you'll see as to why some of these appellations stick with her. Anne Georgulas' second motion for further temporary orders. Now, the petitioner, Anne Georgulas, and by the way, Anne Georgulas is a pediatrician out of Coppell, Texas. I don't know, maybe she doesn't want her name known, but this is, I'm just reading what the order says. Petitioner Anne Georgulas files this motion for further temporary orders and would respectfully show the court as follows. So, number one is the background. On July the 2nd, 2021, the court, that would be the dishonorable Judge Mary Brown with ethical issues and who has also committed violations of the Texas Election Code. Mary Brown heard the parties' requests for further temporary relief. On August the 4th, 2021, the court, the dishonorable Mary Brown, issued its ruling, and the further temporary orders were entered on October the 5th, 2021, which state in relevant part as follows. Number one, the exclusive right to designate the primary residence of the children within Dallas County, Texas. Number two, the exclusive right to consent to all medical, dental, and surgical treatment involving invasive procedures, except that neither parent may treat a child with hormonal suppression therapy, puberty blockers, and or transgender reassignment surgery, if any, without the consent of the parents or court order. It's very interesting how the court order can supersede the consent of a parent. But this is what the dishonorable Judge Mary Brown signed off on. Number three, the exclusive right to consent to psychiatric and psychological treatment of the children. Number four, the exclusive right to receive and give receipt for periodic payments for the support of children and to hold or disperse these funds for the benefit of the children. Number five, the exclusive right to consent. The exclusive right. What does that mean, exclusive right? It means that she is a sole parent. For all intents and purposes, that's what it means. She has the sole exclusive right to these things. What it has done is taken the father, Jeff Younger, completely out of the children's life as far as any type of authority that a regular father would expect to have. This would not take place with normal married people, but this is the court order by the dishonorable Judge Mary Brown, who has said that the exclusive right to consent to all medications to be given to the children, except those medications that are addressed in number 2 above, and those happen to be the hormonal suppression therapy, the puberty blockers, and anything, I guess, related to the transgender reassignment surgery, if any. It's very interesting how they're talking about transgender reassignment surgery on a 9-year-old. On a 9-year-old. By the way, even CPS and the Department of Family and Protective Services recognizes this type of procedure on a minor child to be child abuse. The Attorney General of the state of Texas, Ken Paxton, has stated the same and defends the idea of prosecuting these people who are performing these types of surgeries or puberty blockers or whatever on children. This is child abuse. Make no mistake about it, it is child abuse. It is taking a boy and mutilating him or chemically trying to alter him so that he will not grow into full manhood. Or it is taking a girl and doing the same thing. what happens in these situations is that the puberty blockers and the hormone replacement therapy will change the way the child is growing. A 9-year-old child receiving puberty blockers or hormone replacement therapy. It's designed specifically to stop puberty because during puberty, most children resolve any type of, quote, dysphoria that they may have. At puberty, they realize, oh, wow, I'm growing hair in certain areas. Oh, wow, my voice is deepening. Oh, wow, I'm developing breasts. They realize that, oh, I am a girl, I am a boy. There's a lot of things that take place here. But the way that we keep these children confused is by delaying or possibly canceling puberty. If we can cancel puberty, the child can supposedly continue on in his or her delusion or dysphoric condition. But anyway, that's what goes on here. This is child abuse, but Anne Georgulas has the exclusive right to consent to all medications to be given to the children. Can't talk to the father. The interesting thing is that Anne Georgulas is not even the biological mother of the children. Anne Georgulas, to the best of my knowledge, carried the children, but the eggs were not hers. That is my understanding. Now, I may be incorrect on that, but you can look that up and see. Mr. Younger is the biological father. Anne Georgulas, to the best of my knowledge, is not even the biological mother. Number 6, the exclusive right to represent the children in legal action and to make other decisions of substantial legal significance concerning the children. Again, remember what's going on here. A court is stepping in and saying, one parent, you have no rights to do these things. The sole exclusive right goes to, in this case, the mother. And what is the big crime of the father? The father does not believe that a boy who is born a boy who has, if you look at his DNA, says that he's a boy who by legal definition, on his birth certificate, it says he's a boy who goes by the name of James, but whose mother has been trying to force into a lifestyle of a girl, and as well, to my understanding, from what I've seen, even dresses him in as a drag queen of some sort. This is not James. This is the mother's delusion that she is forcing upon James. And Judge Mary Brown, the dishonorable Mary Brown, with all of her ethical violations and everything else, has given the mother this type of exclusive right. Number 7, the exclusive right to consent to marriage and enlistment in the armed forces of the United States. I thought that at the age of 18 that some of those things took place on their own, but evidently they must be talking about underage marriage or underage enlistment in the armed forces, because it makes no sense to me why she would be given that exclusive right. What is she planning to do? Marry James off to a man? I mean, I don't understand this whatsoever. But anyway, the dishonorable Judge Mary Brown made this decision, made this ruling against Jeff Younger. Number 8, the exclusive rights to make decisions concerning the children's education, including but not limited to their enrollment in school. So if the mother wanted to enroll James in an LGBTQ school, should such a school like that exist, she would be able to do so, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that the father could do. This is according to the dishonorable Judge Mary Brown. Number 9, the exclusive right to make decisions concerning the children's haircuts. And this was very interesting because this came up at trial as far as who can give the child haircuts. Mr. Younger was giving the child haircuts, both children, haircuts because they were boys, giving them boys' haircuts. Mommy wants them to have girl haircuts and therefore wants to stop the father from giving the sons men haircuts. That would go against her agenda, forcing one of them to become, to act like he's a girl when he knows he's not. And once again, I offer myself as personal witness to this. I've met both James and Jude. They're both boys. I don't know them well, but I do know them. I've met them. They are boys. They are not pretend girls. And no matter what Miss Georgulas tries to do, she cannot change the DNA of a boy into the DNA of a girl. She has tried to mutilate her son for an agenda, and she wants to become the poster child for this, evidently. That's the only thing that I can figure. I don't quite understand what even is going on here, nor why this dishonorable Judge Mary Brown, with all of her ethical violations, cheat Judge Mary Brown, would even permit this to happen. She is a nutcase, in my opinion. Number 10, the exclusive right to the services and earnings of the children. And once again, these are underage children. I don't understand. I mean, what type of services is she going to have the children do? What type of earnings is she going to have them make? Is she going to sell out James to be a poster boy for the LGBTQ transgender movement? And by the way, when I say LGBTQ, my apologies to the lesbians and the homosexuals who are against this, and even the transsexuals who are against this. I've met and I've talked with many people, and they are insulted that this type of a moral decision be imposed upon a child, an underage child of 9 years old. They are appalled that this is taking place. To put them all together, to lump this type of behavior in with the lesbians and the gays and even some of the transsexuals is very demeaning to them. It's as if they have no type of sense of morality. You may disagree with their lifestyle, you may disagree with their choices, that we may have some differing viewpoints on morality, sexual morality, but when it comes down to child abuse, they know this is child abuse, and at least the majority of them do, and they know that this is wrong. They hate being associated with it. Number 11, the exclusive right to act as an agent of the children in relation to the children's estates if the children's action is required by a state, the United States, or a foreign government. Number 12, the exclusive right to manage the estates of the children to the extent the estates have been created by community property or the joint property of the parents. Number 13, the exclusive right to sign the children up for extracurricular activities. So once again, I mean, if there is like an LGBTQ club or anything like that, or drag queen story hour, hey, Anne Georgulas has exclusive right to say, yeah, we want you to participate. This is a great extracurricular activity for you. This is absolutely insane. It is abusive. It is child abuse. The court further ordered that to ensure the emotional well-being and physical safety of the children, respondents' periods of possession shall be continuously supervised by forensic counseling services. Now let me add something here. This idea that somehow the emotional well-being and the physical safety of the children was at stake when they were with their fathers was never an issue. This is a fabricated issue because when the boys are with Mr. Younger, they act as boys. This is going against their agenda. There was never a safety issue. The only type of emotional well-being issue is Anne Georgulas, the mother, and those who support her and those who promote her agenda. So the respondent's periods of possession shall be continuously supervised by forensic counseling services. Such intake information was to be completed by August 19, 2021. Here's a judge ordering a father, a good father, to complete this intake service, this intake information, so that he could be supervised by forensic counseling services. This is an abuse of power, it is tyranny, by a judge who can't even get her own campaign right. She should be removed from the bench immediately, in my opinion. I believe that she should also be investigated for facilitating and empowering child abuse, and that perhaps she should be imprisoned for her actions. As of the date of filing this motion, and despite being allowed to see children, respondent Jeffrey Younger fails and refuses to exercise any access or possession with the children. The last time he saw the children was July 31st, 2021. They want Mr. Younger to pay for supervised visitation. They want Mr. Younger to acknowledge that the court has some type of authority over this. This is garbage. So he has chosen to disregard and to rebel against and to not submit to the orders, the illegitimate orders, and I would even say the illegal and immoral orders of this court. The respondent has refused to participate in court-ordered family systems counseling. So what was the purpose of this family systems counseling? Can anybody tell me? This is to force an agenda on Mr. Younger. This is to get him to abandon his religious principles and his moral principles. This is to force him, to compel him to act in a manner that he knows is detrimental to his children. This is to force him to participate in child abuse. The respondent has refused to participate in court-ordered children's counseling. And this whole children's counseling stuff, this is another piece of garbage. They have set things up, they have stacked the deck so that the counselor only sees James when he's presenting as a girl, because that's in his mother's care. His mother dresses him as a girl. His mother presents him as a girl. The father does not do so, nor does James want to be presented in such a way. Supervised visitation for a good dad. Unsupervised care, 24-hour care by a child-abusing mother. That is my opinion. That is what I believe this court has ordered. And that is what I believe that Jessica Janicek, the child castration queen attorney from KOONSFULLER, is supporting. I will have more about her later. The respondent was ordered to produce all responsive documents pursuant to a motion to compel by the petitioner and pay attorney's fees and sanctions to the petitioners, but he has failed to do so, and I would add, nor should he. He should not give a single penny to this petitioner. He should not give a single penny that supports this type of abuse. The respondent was ordered to pay attorney's fees. Oh, Jessica Janicek's attorney's fees. Oh, Jessica, of course Jessica wants to make sure that she gets a little collection on her attorney fees. I'll represent you, Mom. We'll make the dad pay for it. Jessica Janicek, the child-abusing, child castration attorney, in my opinion, and I have good facts from my perspective to back that up. She is a child-abusing attorney, a child castration advocating attorney, a trans advocating attorney, and she does this for the sake of money. The Bible tells us, what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? Jessica Janicek, in my opinion, has lost her soul. I don't know what it's going to profit her at the end. And the fact that she's taking a child down this path as well and defending this type of behavior is reprehensible. It would be better for her if a millstone were hung around her neck and she were cast into the depths of the sea. And if you think I'm saying that, that comes from the Gospels, the words of Jesus Christ himself. Respondent was ordered to pay the attorney's fees and costs pursuant to the motion for enforcement filed by petitioner, but the respondent has failed to do so, and once again, I would add, nor should he do so. Not in the least. This is abusive, this is tyrannical, this is abuse of and tyranny of the worst kind imaginable. And the respondent continues to violate the injunctions by this court. Now I want to know what injunctions she's talking about. I think she's talking about the fact that there was an illegal and illegitimate gag order put upon Mr. Younger, to the best of my knowledge, so that he's not allowed to speak about these issues. He's not allowed to talk about this with the legislature. They are forcing this agenda upon our society. Mr. Younger has been standing against it, has been denouncing it, has granted interviews to people throughout the states. He's spoken at many conferences. He's had interviews internationally as well. They don't like it. They don't want their abuse to have some sunshine on it. Jessica Janicek and the dishonorable Judge Mary Brown and the pediatrician, Anne Georgulas, they want all of this stuff to be like, well, we just won't talk about this. We'll pretend that we're nice people. They are not nice people, they are abusive people. So then it comes down to the harm to the petitioner's business. As a reason, and here's where I think it comes about the continued violation of the injunctions by this court. And it's very interesting because he violates the court order supposedly, and Mary Brown violates the Texas election code, but you know, I guess that's okay. You know, Mary didn't know, even though it's a third election. But Jeff Younger violates an illegal and immoral gag order, and illegitimate. So the harm to the petitioner's business. As a result of the respondent's continued interviews and misrepresentation of the facts, what facts are being misrepresented? What facts are being misrepresented? I think that we need to know if Jessica Janicek is going to write something like this. Tell us what those facts are. Facts are true or false. You may not like the way that he's talking about the facts. If they are facts, they are facts. If they're speculations, they're speculations, but if you can interpret facts differently. But what facts are being misinterpreted? It's their agenda that is being put on display for the world to see, and they don't like being put in a negative light, especially Jessica Janicek. and I have plenty to say about her, but I'm going to probably hold that off at this point in time. In this case, the negative publicity petitioner has suffered due to the respondent's behavior. Her business has been irrevocably damaged, and to which I would say, and it should be. She is a pediatrician who is taking her own child, and again, not even her own biological child to the best of my knowledge, Mr. Younger's biological child. She's doing all of these things, and she's sending him to a transgender clinic and trying to transition him, starting from the age of 3 years old, I believe it was, maybe 4, still continuing to this day, putting LGBTQ flags up in his bedroom, dressing him as a girl, making him wear dresses, dressing him in girls' hair. Who in their right mind would take a child to a pediatrician like that? I don't think it's so much that Mr. Younger has caused irrevocable damage. It's just that he has exposed who she is, and she has caused irrevocable damage to herself by her actions. But I would also say, too, that there's another entity that should be exposed for their actions, and that I would wish irrevocable harm to come to them. Again, this is my perspective, my opinion. It would be the KOONSFULLER law firm and Jessica Janicek as an attorney. I've been in several cases where KOONSFULLER has been involved, and I have never seen them do anything right. KOONSFULLER, in my opinion, is one of the most abusive and evil law firms in this state. To the degree that they're powerful, I don't know, but I do know that at least in this case here, according to Judge Mary Brown, they are platinum sponsors of Mary Brown. In fact, they've given Judge Mary Brown at least $5,000, according to Judge Mary Brown, and I'm sure for her election, and I'm sure that that is buying them some influence. And I'm sure that this is probably not the first time that they've bought some influence with Mary Brown. But Jessica Janicek has, I think, 4 children, maybe 5, I don't know. You can look on Facebook and find her. She's got children. She's advocating for Mr. Younger's children, what she would never do to her own. In fact, I think that on some of these issues, maybe she ought to put her own children up. Transition all of her children. Put them through the same thing that Mr. Younger's children have gone through, and see how they turned out. They would turn out completely screwed up. And Jessica Janicek makes a lot of money doing this. And maybe Anne Georgulas doesn't have the money to keep paying for it, so let's make Jeff Younger pay for it. Jeff Younger should not pay a penny, in my opinion. The request for further temporary orders due to the respondent's behavior, repeated violations of the injunctions in this case, complete disregard for the court's orders, and I again would add illegitimate, immoral, maybe even illegal and unjust orders, and no attempts to exercise any visitation with the children in over 1 year, petitioner Anne Georgulas requests the court to lift the geographical restriction and allow the petitioner to move with the children within the continental United States. What is she asking for here? She's asking to be able to kidnap the children. It's not enough that she's been able to keep Mr. Younger away, except under very strict visitation terms. But now she wants to be able to kidnap the children, secrete with them go with them someplace, and not let Mr. Younger know anything about it. She wants to have full freedom to go from any place in this country so that she can take the children and maybe start a new life outside of the public, the scrutiny of the public eye. I don't know what the whole situation is there. And once again, I mean, this is being defended by child castration attorney Jessica Janicek of the KOONSFULLER law firm. If you think that they're as evil as I do, I think that you've come to a very good opinion. But that is my opinion of them. They are evil and wicked. I would almost add satanic. That's my opinion. Petitioner further requests the court allow her to withhold her home address from being filed with the court or given to respondent other than the county and state of where the court allows her to move if ordered. This is crap. This is a judge who thinks that she is going to be the new parent, the super parent in this situation. This is perverse in many ways. First off, the judge, Judge Mary Brown, unethical Judge Mary Brown, cheat Judge Mary Brown, the Judge Mary Brown who evidently is committed to a predetermined outcome. She's a very strong liberal. And evidently she believes in this child transition nonsense. She is the one who's going to be acting as super parent to help in this situation, super parent to help the abuser hide her identity, move to a new place, and continue to abuse the children. Judge Mary Brown of the 301st District Court in Dallas, Texas. The dishonorable, disreputable, unethical, cheat, tyrannical Judge Mary Brown. Oh, if Judge Mary Brown orders this, I would like to be able to move any place in the country and not give my address, except maybe just give a county and a state, so that I can keep abusing the children. This is child abuse, let there be no question about it. So the petition further requests an injunction prohibiting the respondent from disclosing the whereabouts. She's requesting an injunction prohibiting the respondent from disclosing the whereabouts of the petitioner and the children, or in the alternative, enter an order of complete non-disclosure of this information. This is what we are facing in the state of Texas. This is what we failed to rectify last session in the legislature. This is what our judges are doing to children and to families in the state of Texas. This is not just children kidnapping, allowing the mother to kidnap the children. It's not just interference with child custody based on a judge's order. It is also child trafficking, in my opinion. We have an attorney general who talks about how great the efforts of the state of Texas are against child trafficking. One of the biggest traffickers of our children are our family courts. And if this is not evidence that our courts traffic children, our courts kidnap children, our courts order the destruction of families, our courts cause turmoil to children, our courts destroy families for no reason whatsoever except by tyrannical judicial decree, I don't know what other proof I can offer. The petitioner specifically requests the court to enter an order that the petitioner is not required to disclose the school in which the children attend. Oh, how nice. So she can put the children in any school she wants to, any ideology that she wants to. She could put them in an atheistic school, she could put them in a communist school, she could put them in a tranny school, if such a thing were to exist. And she does not have to require, because she has the sole educational, the exclusive right to make those types of decisions. The petitioner further requests the court to permit the name change of the children. She wants to now change their identity as well. She wants to completely cut off the father. And make no mistake about this, the abuser in this case is Anne Georgulas, and the facilitator of the abuse is Jessica Janicek of the KOONSFULLER law firm, and the dishonorable Mary Brown of the 301st District Court. Or in the alternative, that she be excluded the exclusive right to change the names of the children in the future. Once again, she wants to brainwash them. She wants to completely destroy their identity with their father. And that's been the effect of this last year. Mr. Younger will not cow to illegal gag orders, and yet because of that, now he's going to be asked to have his rights terminated because he's not playing their game. And this is the game. This is the game, a game of suicide to his kids, basically. Petitioner further requests that the court issue a separate order that the respondent's consent, the father's consent, this is the respondent, is not required for the petitioner to apply for or renew children's passports, and that the respondent's consent is not required for the children to travel internationally. Where is she going? What is she doing? Is she going to traffic her children to another place? Is she going to go traveling with them and then leave them off and sell them to a highest bidder? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but this is insanely tyrannical. It's reprehensible, it's immoral. And again, this is what Jessica Janicek of the KOONSFULLER law firm is advocating for the mom, Anne Georgulas, the confused pediatrician who wants to see her non-biological son mutilated and pretend that he is a girl. She's already done damage, irreparable damage. She is guilty of child abuse, in my opinion. And the courts are facilitating this further. And now here comes Jessica Janicek once again. The request for attorney fees, expenses, costs, and interest. It was necessary for the petitioner to secure the services of Jessica Hall Janicek. Maybe she's one of the only attorneys that has no moral standards. Maybe she's just that morally deficient that she's the only person they could find? I don't know. I don't know the case with her. But I know that Jessica Janicek has presented herself as a person who understands parental alienation. There's a photo, I think it goes back from 2013. She got a photo, I think it was an international photo with William Burnett, one of the experts in parental alienation. She is trying to kill a parent from these children's lives. Jessica Hall Janicek and other licensed attorneys at KOONSFULLER PC. KOONSFULLER, as I said, in my opinion, is one of the most evil law firms in the state of Texas, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've been to several cases with them. I've watched them either online or in person. I have not seen anything that I like about them. They are lying, they are deceitful. Well, they said, we're not lying, we're not deceitful, we're honest people. Well, they misrepresent at the very least, but in my opinion, they are liars and they are deceivers. And they are also people that I think will end up in the lake of fire with Jessica Janicek. To prepare and prosecute the suit, it was necessary because the children's present environment and emotional development is significantly impaired. The reason that their present environment and emotional development is significantly impaired is because they are living full-time with the mother, Anne Georgulas, the pediatrician who wants to pretend that somehow you can change a boy into a girl, change his or her DNA, change her blood type. That is the reason. And again, Jessica Janicek, the morally deficient attorney from KOONSFULLER who has sold themselves to evil, this is what they're defending. The respondent should be ordered to pay reasonable attorney fees, expenses, and costs through trial and appeal, and a judgment should be granted against the respondent and in favor of the petitioner for use and benefit of the petitioner's attorney, and be ordered paid directly to the petitioner's attorney, who may enforce the judgment in the attorney's own name. Petitioner requests post-judgment interest as allowed by law. Once again, for Mr. Younger, I would stand with him that he not pay a single penny to this. And I think that the people of Texas ought to rise up against this type of abuse. This is the abuse that you see commonly in our family courts. It goes on every single day, this type of abuse. Not as drastic as this case is, but it takes place every single day in the state of Texas. And our legislature does nothing about it. Our governor does not speak out about it adequately. The Speaker of the House, I don't know what he's doing. Where's his leadership on this? We need to have some leadership here, some people that say this will never again happen in the state of Texas. And by the way, Mr. Younger is only one case. There are other cases that I'm familiar with as well that are taking place or have taken place in the state of Texas. And it's not just Texas, it's throughout the country. It's internationally that this stuff is taking place. If we cannot fix this in Texas, shame on us. Shame on us. So the point number 5, conclusion and prayer. For these reasons, Anne Georgulas requests the court to grant all relief requested herein, and for such other and further relief the court may deem just and proper. This is a court of injustice and a court of impropriety, led by a judge who cannot even follow the Texas election code, who is unethical and who is a cheat judge, who has signatures forged for her petition. And we're going to ask her for justice and something which is proper. Anne Georgulas prays for general relief. And this, again, is respectfully submitted by KOONSFULLER PC, and this is Granite Place at Town Square, 550 Reserve Street, Suite 450, Southlake, Texas, 76092, 817-481-2710 is a telephone. Fax number is 817-481-2637. And this was by Jessica Hall Janicek. State bar number 24069862. And her email is jjanicek, that's JJANICEK, at KOONSFULLER, KOONSFULLER.com, the attorney for the petitioner, Anne Georgulas. And KOONSFULLER and Jessica Janicek, I'm not even going to charge you for the advertising here. So this is free advertising. If you want to send me a royalty check, I'd love that. But you know, but I'm not charging you anything for this advertising here, because maybe there are some other people that need to have unjust and immoral and morally deficient attorneys. Again, this is my opinion about the whole thing. So, you know, your name is out there now in case they want to hire you. The certificate of conference, I certify that on August 12, 2020, my office contacted counsel for Jeffrey Younger. At the time of the filing of this motion, no response has been received. Therefore, this motion is presented to the court for determination, once again, by the morally deficient, in my opinion, Jessica Hall Janicek. Certificate of service, I certify that a true copy of the above was served on each attorney of record or party in accordance with the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure on August 12, 2020. Once again, by the morally deficient, in my opinion, Jessica Hall Janicek. So this is what is happening right now in the state of Texas. People have thought maybe Jeff Younger won his case. Attorneys will find ways to milk people for money, and they will have dishonorable judges that I believe they have bought off, that they bought influence with to try to change things. And once again, this is something that our state, the state of Texas, has permitted because we have lacked the backbone in the world we've called this abuse, but we're not doing anything about it. This needs to cease immediately. I stand with Jeff Younger, 100%. And I will report on these things further as I get more information that becomes available. In the meantime, I encourage you all to write to Jessica Janicek. Ask her what she's doing. Hey, her email's here. Why is she acting so morally deficient? Why is she defending this abuse? Ask her. I think that's a very good thing to do. Let everybody throughout the state, let everybody throughout the country ask her. Just saying, that's what I think is a very legitimate question. I know Jessica Janicek has come after me at one point in time in court, and I still stood, didn't budge. But that's Jessica Janicek, the bully attorney, the morally deficient attorney, Jessica Janicek, who is advocating for the social transition and eventually the chemical castration of Mr. James Younger, a 9-year-old child. She's been doing this for at least a couple of years right now. If that's not a morally deficient character, please tell me what is. So anyway, I end this right now, but I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention, and that's it for right now. Thank you.